made the largest change during winter workouts from a body composition standpoint, speed standpoint? Who stood out to you there?
Just overall movement. We spend so much time in the weight room that's kind of my main avenue right now, my main lane, and love it. Improved his mechanics, his body composition. I know he's going to get better just from moving a lot of weight. Big Jones, McCoy, McLeod, those guys all have gotten just better functionality in the weight room, which means they're going to lean up. When people are concerned about a guy getting heavier as, related to their speed, if they're gaining lean muscle mass, they're going to get faster. So that's been a huge part of our off season is lifting heavy, gaining muscle mass. So I told you guys last time a big emphasis was the offensive line, defensive line, and I think we're starting to see some bodies changing, some body compositions. Jake Sankel is going to do a comprehensive body composition analysis. We are currently right now, since we're done with our off season, doing the evaluations on that. It's very time consuming with their schedule to get them in there and do all the body comp, but we're getting them in there and we're going to have a big list of that. But our skill players, VB3 comes to mind. Laganza Hayward's probably the strongest defensive back pound for pound in the SEC. I'm not, throwing shade at anybody, but talking 345-pound power clean. That's very rare. Double overhand grip, deadlifting, 545. He's very impressive. So it's great to see the competition. All these guys love to compete. They love football and they love to compete, or they wouldn't be here. And so when you have guys like VB3, Laganza, Bet, Jaden Woods, those guys pushing weight, guys are going to start trying to catch up. So it creates a lot of competition and heat in the weight room to get better. So, but it's been an experience for the last 7 weeks watching those guys go.
What was the key for them to finally pass the gauntlet, and what was your reaction to when they finally got it done?
It took a long time to get complete emotional investment into that. After about the third one, I think a lot of coaches who had not experienced that format were like, how in the world are these guys going to pass this? I think there was a little bit of a sense of doom after the third one. And some of the players I could see there's like a lost look in their eyes. And then after around the fifth one, when guys started getting angry, when you started seeing guys who were just kind of going through the motions, and then they started getting angry about it, then I knew, hey, we have a chance. And it took a lot of time to get the emotional investment into that. And once you tap into each player's sense of survival, everybody has a survival mechanism inside them. And it took about 5 or 6 weeks to tap into that. A lot of guys didn't feel threatened by it. They thought, well, we can just kind of hide in the gray. Time will pass. We'll be done with it. And then eventually it'll go away. And then when coach says, hey, we're going to prolong the offseason to spring ball, which I know he would, then they're like, well, maybe I got to really gut it out and find somewhere I haven't been before. So it took 8 weeks to get emotional investment out of everybody to pass it. And that's the thing that I'm most happy about is we came together to do that. And even guys that were in the first week or so looking very lost were expressing leadership traits like communication under duress, late into week 7, week 8.
How impressive were BB3 and Kanye Clark and the way that they, handled all their one-on-ones in the Gauntlet?
Just natural competitors, and they understand the pressure that they're under and just very aware. So my first week or two, we recognized Kanye Clark in week 1 as being one of our Iron Gators, the hardest working skill player, and it was very apparent that these guys are dudes. They're just overall competitive dudes. VB3 was the very first player to really start being a vocal leader. And you could tell that he's been here, he's been through it, he wants improvement. And it's just a different level of maturity that you hope everybody can strive towards.
Strong as Kanye Clark for a 179-pound guy. Some of the videos you posted were pretty impressive of him in the weight room.
I mean, yeah, he's, squatting in the mid 400s. He's a double body weight guy in the squat, which is a good place to start. Moves with really, really good technique. Power cleaning close to 300 pounds. So just aggressive, alert, responsive, and those traits are what we're looking for. So he's a good rep for all of that.
How much do you see the conditioning translate into the tempo of practice today?
They got tired because the duration of practice is longer than what we were conditioning for. We're on the field in the off season for right around an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. You double that with a helmet on, and those guys got gassed out. And it's a good place to start. Now we know, hey, our defensive standard is to sprint off the field during any team event, 7-on-7, inside, whatever we're doing, you're going to run off the field for full effort. And they got tired doing that. And then by practice 12, 13, they'll be coming off the field and they won't be gassed out. So then you add that to our summer conditioning, and we're going to be a fit football team. But yeah, the helmet always makes a difference.
When you're out there to practice, other than seeing guys get gassed, are you looking for anything in particular that you can take from practice to change their habits, the way they're on the work?
I look for suddenness out of their start. I want them to close space and be very sudden. So I'm looking at initial first 3 steps and how guys come out of their breaks and player balance. A good sign of strength is, can I control my 200 pounds or so, whatever I might weigh, in space, stop, go, and be under balance. So those are little things that I'm looking for. Obviously, it's a different level athlete here, in the SEC. So you're going to see guys, large men, come to balance, break, make good athletic movements. So I'm just really keyed in on things like that. The conditioning aspect, you'll see guys trying to survive. We had a lot of guys trying to survive today, holding back a little bit, and that's just the nature of the beast right now. They're saving themselves for the next period, but they'll get better at that. I look at, once we get pads on, I really like to watch the one-on-one pass pro. The big boys go against each other, to watch the hand violence and the striking. That's what I really want to see, because we're going to win the SEC championship at the line of scrimmage, and we got to have very, very violent, physical, large men going at it. So that remains to be seen.
Miles Johnson is up to 239 pounds. Just what did you see from him this offseason?
Miles Johnson. Hold on, let me check these numbers out real quick. 235 currently. Yeah, I want an inside linebacker to be in the 230, even if he's tall enough to handle 240. So, 235 is a premier weight for a guy his size. So, in the 220 range, you're going to get pushed around. And you look at the size of the tight ends in our league. So, I think 35, 40 is a good place to be for him. Who else you guys were? I was reading some online comments about Childs looking like he's going to be a D lineman, but he's only 240. Yeah, his body comp has gotten pretty lean. He's a very muscular, you got a lot of big deltoids, getting a narrower waist, so he's going to look like that with a long T-shirt on, like a baggy shirt. He's going to look like a D lineman, but he's got more of a V shape. He might creep into the 245 range in season when our practice schedule changes quite a bit. Of course, we got a lot for them to run 5,000 yards during a Saturday. We don't touch that again until the next Saturday. So he'll be able to probably gain a little bit of weight. I wouldn't mind him being a 245 guy.
I know you were raving about Jaden Woods in the offseason that he had, and I guess he's a little down too, right? 244 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, let me look at him. So our edges. Well, yeah, 247, and he's 6'3". Yeah, I'm happy with him because speed kills, right? So I think if he's in the 45 and 50 range, he'll be fine. His game is going to be speed. I mean, during the Gauntlet, we're matching him up with VB3. We're matching him up with wide receivers. Good luck finding an edge rusher anywhere in the country who's going to, run against you. He's beating our running backs, so we go, hey, we got to get him against wide receivers. So I'm sure there's a couple or three out there, but he's a rare player.
What's the hardest station of the gauntlet?
I'm sorry?
What's the hardest station of the six in the gauntlet?
The bags, the agile bags. If you hit a bag, the entire team, your entire squad has to do up downs, and they call it the up down station because when you get fatigued and you got to go over agile bags, you drag your toes, and you hit a bag. And with Coach Bam Hardman running it, if you displace a bag at all, hey, we got 3. So the guys get really tired at that drill, and they display fatigue, and that's by design. The bags are a test of concentration, conditioning, control, body control, and the bags. Everybody hates the bags. Coach Bam loves the bags. He's an SEC champion. He's got a legacy here, and he's kind of protecting the gate right there at his station. So he does a tremendous job. The other drills are just basically races, very simple races. And there's also a preparation to that for guys on their pro day. The L drill, we do it hundreds of times. The 5-10-5 drill is duplicated in the basket race. The hoop race is an important element that all O-line, D-line are going to do. So it's by design each drill is about 5 seconds. How long is a football play? So the only one that goes beyond 5 seconds is a sled push, and it's a 10-yard push, turn around and come back, But it's all geared towards football conditioning. And if they want to make it harder by requiring up downs, by being called back to the previous station, then that's on them. You can only do so much preparation, and then at some point you got to put the football team on the field and go, hey, it's up to you guys now. And that's the mindset of the Gauntlet. It's a immersion into stress and into uncomfortability, and that's what a football game is. So.
What's up to you about Mason Clinton during winter workouts?
Mason Clinton, when he showed up, he was deconditioned. He's gotten better. I coach at his rack. I've been watching almost every repetition of him. He's gotten tremendously better at the power clean and the squat. He was what I would call a 3/4 squatter, and he's getting more depth. He's getting some back glute development. He needs it really bad, But he's been completely willing to do all the work. You never know what you're going to get with sometimes with some transfers. But in my job, I have to have a lot of patience these days because I just can't build a wall up and just label people. Oh, he's this, he's that. So he's been very malleable for us and alert. And I expect him to have a great summer. I really do. He wants to be a tough guy. Coach Summerall's big thing, be tough. And he wants to be a tough guy. So we're going to get along really well.
How many coaches have you been with?
How many what?
Head coaches.
Have I done what?
Have you been with?
Oh, geez, how much time we got?
No, but how many? How many is like 5, 7? What is John?
Well, I've coached, 15. I don't think of all the jobs I've had. A lot.
I'll go look it up. But where is he in terms of his involvement
Coach
during
Summerall?
practice, his energy, the way he's getting to everybody? He said he wants to basically talk to every player every day.
He's the top 2. Jeff Monken, if he were to put a Fitbit on his wrist, he'd probably walk 8 miles a day during practice. He tries to be that ingrained in it too. But yeah, Coach Sum's right there, top 2 I've ever had. Sometimes you'll see like Ron Randleman. I hope he does see this. My very first head coach, when I was a head strength coach at Sam Houston State, he was, we practiced on one football field, one old turf football field. He would stand at the 50 with the clipboard stuffed in his shorts, and he would watch the offense, turn around and watch the defense. And that's how much confidence he had in his coordinators. And Coach Summerall is drill to drill to drill. I had the pleasure of getting to watch Bill Belichick coach for a week way back in 2018 during their mini camps. And that guy was just busting a sweat, walking drill to drill to drill to drill. And you kind of see why he was a micromanager, and at that level you have to be, our level you have to be. And I think Coach Summerall does a tremendous job of making every coach aware that, hey, it's important. Every period, every rep is important. Get it right. I got my butt chewed out today for making a single mistake. In the team event, the players got to run to me, and I'll break down, like I'll say, toughness on 2, 1, 2, or, 1 and 0. And we break down, and they go off to the sideline. And if they don't run to me, I require 2 up downs. And they came to me, backside corner didn't run. I said, hey, we got 2. And I had them do 2 up downs, and then they were trying to run a play on the next group. And coach was like, we got reps to go, get them off the field, So he's trying to be urgent, and he's digging into me, and he's digging into everybody. So, yeah, he keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, Coach, the energy, like he's been impressed with the willingness to do what you guys are asking, the players engaging. How much easier is that for a team coming off a 4-8 season, or is that maybe tougher? I know there are 50 newcomers, but is it harder to get a team?
I don't bring up last year. I think there's so many new coaches and players that it's just going to go through one area out the other. But the urgency is here. The ingrained urgency is on fire right now. I don't see any players. They don't know what they don't know. As far as hustling on, hustling off, they're used to a certain tempo that we're changing, and it's going to take a couple of practice sessions to fix that. But the overall urgency is here, and I don't. Tomorrow we have a defense lift, offense lift, and I don't. Those guys are going to be ready to go. We run in the door. They do high knees for 8 seconds. I haven't. Week 1, it was easier to say, hey, these guys are on board. These guys aren't. Now it's way easier. Hey, everybody's on board. Maybe 1 or 2 haven't got it yet. But it's not because character issues. It's just because we just have to keep working on urgency. Urgency means different levels, different to the maturity of these younger guys. They don't quite get it. So we're going to keep banging on that.
Last one, right here.
Buster Faulkner mentioned that Davion Gross is kind of a guy that doesn't look like he's extending, but then you look up and he's won 13 Gauntlet reps. What kind of athleticism has a true freshman seen, and what have you seen from him in winter workouts?
Tell me the name again.
Davion Gross.
Oh, just natural mover. He's raw in the weight room. Most of these freshmen are, and once he gets substantially stronger, which will happen during the summertime, look out. The days of redshirting are pretty much behind us. He'll be a contributor, and I'll finish on this note. There's the benefits of a weight room program in 7 or 8 weeks. It's astounding to see the results some of these guys can make, the jumps they can make in self-confidence and abilities. So they bring in good athletes, great athletes, and with our approach, you're going to see these guys really surprise some people, around August. So, I'm excited to be here, man.
What was the key for Joseph and Bachu to gain 23 pounds this offseason?
Well, creatine. The shakes, they're made downstairs by our nutrition staff. 500 calories, 30 grams of protein, and personalized shakes. We have a world-class nutrition department.
How impressive is it for a guy like that to get in that shape that quickly? Trying to play nose tackle.
It's expected. The window of opportunity closes so fast at our level on these guys, and he gets it. So, I mean, 20 pounds is a big jump, and we're going to refine that as far as body composition goes. But, yes, you got to be a big boy to play at that level, at that position, because you're going to have a center guard double team, 700 pounds of mass pushing against you, 600 pounds of mass, so he gets it. Thank you.